Hello, welcome back to the Captain's Workshop. Last video we covered the making two sides of the fuselage, and now we have to join them together. And this is one I've done earlier, and this is a Sleck fuselage jig. Very useful. This piece here is the standard item that comes in place of these shortened ones. Now I've actually redesign this to use it for smaller models, and it would be possible to even shorten this down to that point here, and that may be something I will do, because when you get a model this small it is still quite tricky getting in there. So starting the thing off, we had these elements here holding the front while it's stuck, but to actually get it in we recut this piece and the front ones, and at the same time we made enough 12 in total of exactly the same size as we did making the fuselage on the side, which effectively makes a square at the front. So that being said, we use our tweezers, two different types. I've got these, you squeeze together, and these actually hold themselves together. And they're quite handy when you pick something up. You don't have to squeeze something, and you can maneuver it into position. Now for this process, basically I would use speed bond put into a small container with a very small nipple at the end, so that you've got a very small amount of glue. Equally, when you start to get pieces like this where you're infilling, it's very useful to use superphatic, which comes with a very small addition, a small dispenser where it's very fine, and literally you can just touch it in, and it's halfway between, in terms of operations, halfway between a PVA and a cyano glue. It hasn't got any cyano in it, but effectively it will penetrate into the wood. So again, we'd use either glue rather, but I found it very useful doing this piece. And when I did this piece, I had two of these up this end to hold it still, and as that's set, I move them back and back. And generally what will happen now, this has all been set, so I will probably keep that one, take these two out, and then start to use them again as we go down. Another important thing when using a jig is to make sure that the ends meet together at the end, and that should ensure, as they're perfectly matched, the two sides, they should equally be the same length. So they're over the plan, which is got cling film over it, or shrink wrap I should say. A centre line is drawn in, so that we've got somewhere we can put exactly the centre where the two sides join, and this runs through the middle, and equally we can see on the plan where the lines are for the outside of the fuselage. So it is really quite mechanical, but you have to be slow and steady with it, and you will end up with a perfectly square fuselage. And this is really quite important, to keep things as square as we can in terms of level. So the next step for this would be to take this out. When you look at this particular plan, I can actually ease it out of the jig now, I think. It's not going to glue anymore. These are used to help keep those sides down and level, touching the plan. And when this comes out now, I don't think I'll force it actually, but when it was coming out, we could turn it round and do the other side. I've actually managed to do top and bottom while it's in the jig in the same position. That's not much more to say about that, except there are strengtheners here where the dowel pegs go through for the wing, and then we'll move on to the wing making itself. A very similar process for fuselage sides. It's all about keeping things right over the plan and keeping level, not sticking pins through thin bits of wood, etc, etc. Okay, so we'll leave that there, and we'll move on just after one other little thing. When this is complete, there'll be a little bit of 3 30-seconds added there and there to give right side and down thrust. And then this little boy here that's in the bag still has a little piece still in, to mean that when we make the nose block up, it's neatly done, you know, already here. We've got that's a center rib for the tailplane, and these are the pieces to make the actual nose block. And now you see that little piece, it mirrors there, so every time we put the nose back in, it goes in one place, it doesn't get the wrong place. That's the reason we use that. So we'll cover this a bit more deeply when we get into putting the whole model together. Well, thanks for watching, and look out for the next video, which will be looking at the wing. Thank you.